Wrong.
Yes.
I believe this is a family violence case.
Yes.
Family violence is not here. I'll stand in for them.
All right, thank you.
Give me a little bit of information about this case design,
Yes.
not brief.
All right. I'll walk you through it, State. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 007969 State versus Daniel Chapa. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Andrew Harris, Salem.
defense?
Catherine Valenzuela.
And are you Mr. Chapa? All right, you're gonna need to speak up so that I can hear. You're listed on the docket as Chapa and Maestas.
Nestus.
Yes, so is that your,
It was my last name till I changed it to my father's name.
okay. And was that
Chapa-
changed legally?
Chapa is
Huh?
What, did you legally change it? Did you go to a court? All right. All right, counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you, Mr. Chapa, review the document titled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
That's right.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, state, it appears that you are proceeding on count one and waiving the repeater offender enhancement allegation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is, Your Honor. And just to be clear, there is only the count one in the indictment,
No, there are two counts.
and we waive count two.
All right, thank you. Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
Did you understand you're charged with stalking as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he was.
Mr. Chapa, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count one. Punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 0270, which is a misdemeanor. The state will take in consideration 2024 CR 007970 and night mag number 764573. Did you understand that to be the plea? Did you understand that to be your plea bargain agreement?
yes,
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
yes,
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counselor, there be any such motions?
There have been no such motions.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years and there be no contact with Elaine Rodriguez. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
yes, sir.
Then to the offenses charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Should be contained in exhibit one and attachments, Your Honor.
My client and I have reviewed states one. We have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court gonna find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And the court will find you guilty. All right, so defense, why should I follow this agreement?
Your Honor, Mr. Chapa has been placed, he is currently on probation on the other case. He's been in, that happened a month ago. He has not been released, so he has not officially been on probation, but he is, the court granted that. In addition, Your Honor, Mr. Chapa has been in custody for 5 months. During this time period, he had been diagnosed prior with mental illness. He was not compliant with his medication at the time of this offense.
What mental illness?
Will you tell the court what your diagnosis was?
It's bipolar or schizophrenia. Different diagnoses.
So it's bipolar schizophrenia. I don't know if you heard that, Your Honor. So now he has been on medication since being in custody. He's now compliant with his medication. I think he has a new framework on how he's thinking of things, and we believe that he would be successful on probation. In addition, on his misdemeanor probation that you granted, you placed him on GPS, only allowing him to work. We believe that he will demonstrate to the court that he can comply with that. We are going to be putting a motion in for waiver of fees for right now, since he's been in custody for 5 months and there's been no, he has not been able to work.
All right, so I understand he's bipolar and schizophrenic according to him. But why does his bipolar and schizophrenia only result in him having issues with women? Why are there no charges? Not that I'm recommending, but why are there no charges against men? It appears that he only has issues with women. And I do see that this offense occurred prior to the offense that he's on probation for, I believe. Let me see. No, actually, what he's on probation for occurred after this incident.
There were a lot of cases and they were all, we've been trying to dig out, that's why we've done this piecemeal and not at one time to figure out what are the actual charges and when they have come forward from the office. But I do believe that Mr. Chapa is coming before the court and asking to be placed on probation and willing to abide by the conditions imposed by the, I mean, there are a lot of conditions on the misdemeanor, on the other probation, and we believe that these could run concurrent and he would be successful. And he does have family support now. A very active sister and others who have older daughters also who have indicated a willingness to help him
All
now
right.
that he's helping himself.
So, Ms. Abrams,
Yes, Judge.
the case that he's on probation for is a misdemeanor.
Yes, Judge.
That misdemeanor case occurred after this case. And he was, I'm sorry, before this case. And he was granted probation on that case. And my understanding from the plea previously, that family violence said that the complainant was aware and was in agreement with his previous plea, I believe.
Judge.
Yes.
All right. Court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. This is to run concurrent with 2024 CR 0270. Taking consideration 2024 CR 007970. NIMAG number 764573. There's to be no contact with Elaine Rodriguez, and that's Elaine with an E. And when I say no contact, I know you haven't had contact with her since you were placed on probation in other case, but when I say no contact, that means no contact. That means no, I apologize. I've got my life together. I just want to send you flowers to say, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's to be no sorry or any of that. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you contact her at all, that's a violation of your probation and you're looking at 10 years in the prison. You understand?
Yes.
And it's probably best for you that you not enter into any relationships until you get yourself together. And when you enter into a relationship, make sure that that person is not meeting your publicist, they're meeting you. What do I mean by that? You tell them about all this stuff that you've done. And then if they still want to be with you, then great, they're on notice. But if you are dishonest and then they end up finding out about this, that's going to cause an issue for your relationship. You understand?
Your Honor,
Yes.
apologies for interrupting. Did I hear you say correctly that you assess Mr. Chapa's term of confinement in 10 years?
Yes.
If I'm looking at the plea bargain agreement correctly, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years.
No, 10 years and 6 years probation.
Yes, we
That
changed
was,
it.
that was the paperwork. said
Yes.
10 years.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I am looking at the wrong paperwork, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Edelman. There's no contact with Elaine Rodriguez. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And standing in for the state is,
Raymond's from Bonnet.
all right, and Mr. Saldana, did you have contact with the complainant?
We have.
And is she aware of this plea bargain agreement?
She will be.
Okay. All right, and she's in agreement?
She. That's.
No, she had been, I mean,
She
she had been prior. to
Okay,
this, yes. I'm
all
sorry.
right. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, anger management course, 150 hours community service restitution, referral to Center for Healthcare Services, MIC evaluation in custody, gang evaluation in custody, field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. Probation, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
And Your Honor, so on this case, there is no, I'm not trying to impose conditions on him. There's no GPS on this case.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's why I was afraid.
Calls ending in 0270, we do have partial GPS for
Yes.
purposes only until further notice.
Well, the only thing is that case, his probation is only for a limited amount of time. I think his probation is for 2 years.
Correct.
All right, we can keep the GPS on for that. And then if there are some issues, we'll see about adding it to this case.
Like, so Judge, do you want the fees waived or anything for that?
Yes, the fees can be waived on the GPS. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right. We can go off the record. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you need anything, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court and address it with me. The other thing, make sure that you follow the conditions that I've set for you to the letter. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Oh, and Raymond,
Yes,
on the night mag case, do you guys have the dismissal for that?
we don't. I'm gonna let intake know so they can reject that case.
All right, thank you. Vanessa Boss. Norma? Oh, Norma's not here. All right, Anthony Warrington. Hello. Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing great.
All right, are you all ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 1021 State of Texas versus Anthony Leroy Warrington. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Andrew Sandlin.
defense?
Kurt Hockey for defense.
And are you Mr. Warrington?
That's ma'am.
All right, did you review the documents entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand it? Are you the same Anthony Leroy Warrington who was placed on community supervision in 2024 CR 1021 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams on May 9th, 2024 for a term of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
On or about the seventh day of July twenty twenty-four in Dare County, Texas, the defendant Anthony Leroy Warrington did then and there fail to complete lifetime recovery treatment center residential program followed by aftercare as directed by the court in violation of condition 39 state waives all remaining violations.
All right, to violation of condition number 39, how do you plead? True or not true?
True, ma'am.
And defense, any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 39, the court could find it true, grant the motion and sentence you up to 8 years in the prison? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition 39? Court will find violation of 39 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, revoke supervision, assess punishment and confinement for 3 years.
All right, is that your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Warrington, are you asking the court to follow that agreement? Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will revoke and sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And I'll suggest the therapeutic community. I have no authority for them to place you in that program. You'll still have to request it. Do you understand? And it doesn't increase the amount of time that you're in prison, but hopefully it will help you get on the right track and remain on the right track.
That's why.
Therapeutic community, it's for people who have drug or alcohol problems, or if you have mental health issues. That way they can connect you with programs when you're released from custody, as well as put you in programs while you're at the prison. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, we can go through the record. So when you get out of prison, if you don't know where to find a place for drug treatment, if I'm still here, you can come in and I will pick up the phone, call somebody and place you in a program. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. All right, here's here on hate one, Laura.
Your Honor, Mr. Sin Heinrich was not present for Mr. Miller.
All right.
Wait.
All right, on Mr. Laura, we're going to send him back and we'll recall his case. And we are going to recall his case for, put it on October 15th.
Oh, yes. Oh, go.
All right, we'll bring you back on the 15th, sir, if your attorney is not present.
Thank you.
This is the one that I had on. And yeah, once I put this in Odyssey, I'll give this to you. And state. Yes, sir. Before you call the complainant, we'll take a break. So just let me know, when are you planning on calling the complainant?
So we start at 9:30, the officer will probably take about 15 minutes. And then defense crossing, I should do it around 10, so maybe like 10.
And so what we'll do is we'll take a 10-minute break because there are things that we have to do in the court to make sure
Yes, sir.
certain things, okay? Yes. Ah, oh.
Try to keep them in order if you don't mind, because I think we're kind of chronological.
Speed and read.
Oh, Deputy Laura, today they had cucumber water, so I'm enjoying my water. No, it's at the hotel.
How's the house coming along, Judge?
Ah, it's a work in progress. But my thing is, as long as it's done right, I'm fine.
You don't want to rush those things.
No. All right, thank you.
Well, they're over years. Three. 3 or 4, yeah. Yeah, no. That told me way down. Which one? The one with the.
Yeah, you really don't need to use that for that one because that attorney said it for a bond.
Here she's probably younger. But here she increased the same thing. You just want to find each across. Okay. Here, I don't know what this is. This is just like.
That's Lake House.
Okay,
Scary.
I know, that's fine.
That's just.
That's her bedroom, but that's also fine.
That's the old house. If we then,
That's also fine.
that's the bedroom.
Also fine. This one, I don't know.
They're eating.
Yeah, so you don't feel like maybe one. Okay. This one she took a gun.
Just out of the lake, just kind of there's all talk about them.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. And maybe.
We can call those down to.
So like maybe just one.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know what.
That's how it's, that's how it's.
Yeah, the same thing. Like it's a sheet protective for COVID. And this one. That one, I'm not sure if it's useful. Same.
You already have one.
Same, yeah. So some of these I define, but others not.
We'll go through them again and then press forward.
That might be-
I can, we'll keep in order though.
I like that.
It's the.
Yeah.
ordinance.
Like watches.
That's the yours.
Your Honor, may I approach
Yes.
part of Mr. Warren?
Yeah, if we can include who's.
Yeah, if we can.
I mean, I have like, it's literally at 1,000.
Thank you. Your Honor.
I'm not.
Okay.
Where'd they get it?
So.
It's like the old orange. So do. So.
And would you please contact the let him know that the copies of this client certificate dismissals, you be ready for him to pick up and push the originals out the county. Wow.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 1969, State of Texas versus Vanessa Garcia Boss. All right, can I have the parties announced for the record for the state
Andrew Harris Edelman for the state.
defense?
Catherine Valenzuela.
All right.
Order.
Okay. Just 1 second. I think she went to go grab exhibits. So you're listed as Vanessa Garcia Boss and also Vanessa Garcia Serta. Which one is it?
My maiden name matched with my marriage name,
Okay.
and somehow, some way, it just didn't get fixed.
And counsel, you may want to put down for your records, Vanessa Garcia Boss. And I've already sent an email to Matt to have you placed on the case.
Thank you.
Hi. I can never see over the top of my computer. Thank goodness for Andrew, because Andrew is like, there's no court reporter.
I've had excellent situational awareness.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 1969, State versus Vanessa Garcia Boss. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Andrew
defense?
Catherine Valenzuela.
And are you Miss Boss? All right, your attorney, this attorney was appointed to represent you recently. Your attorney has 10 days to prepare to answer for you. Do you have any objections to waiving those 10 days and having the attorney appear for you? Counsel, are you waiving your 10 days?
I am waiving it. for 10 days, Your Honor.
And have you had ample opportunity to confer with your client?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Boss, did you have a chance to review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Vanessa Garcia Boss who was placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 1969 for the offense of driving while intoxicated with a child under 15 on March 28, 2023 for a term of 2 years? Is that you? All right, state.
On or about 22nd day of May 2023, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Vanessa Garcia Boss. They've been in there illegally using substance, namely marijuana, in violation of condition number 2. State ways forward in violation application.
To violation of condition number 2, how do you plead? True or not true? And counsel, do you have any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 180 days in the state jail facility? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, revoke supervision, assess punishment and confinement for 180 days.
Is that the agreement?
That's the agreement, Your Honor.
All right, are you asking the court to follow that agreement? All right, and is that 180 days in the state jail facility? Counsel?
Yes.
All right. Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. The court will grant the motion. And the court will sentence you to 180 days in the state jail facility. And probation, was there any restitution in this case to Mr. Tovar?
Are you asking if it's paid, Judge?
Yes. Okay.
Judge, there was not any restitution actually assessed. It was still to be determined.
All right. All right, well, since you've been on probation since March, and there's been no restitution requested, the court is not going to order restitution.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the court will grant the motion as previously stated, 180 days in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? I'm also going to request a therapeutic community for her. It doesn't increase the length of time that you're in custody, but if you have any issue, they may be able to help you with that. I don't have the authority to place you in that program. You'll have to request it as well. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. It's BAS. No,
I did, just but I want to make sure you.
all right, thank you.
Don't say that.
All right.
Save that. This is our report.
You want me to follow you or wait somewhere for you? See you.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 11724, State of Texas versus Jordan Robbins. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Raymond Saldana.
Daniel Rosengard.
For the
John Foley for
defense?
the defense, Your Honor. Chris Choate for the defense.
And are you Mr. Robbins?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I've been informed by the deputies that the jurors are all present. Are parties ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Defense is ready, Your
We
Honor.
are, Judge.
All right.
As also just as a matter of, part of the trial, we're gonna be admitting State's Exhibit 7, which is the redaction form of the records that we had conferred on. We just have to do it on the record and I guess in the
Yes.
presence of the jury.
So are you all in agreement with number
Your Honor.
7 being admitted?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you can offer it in front of the jury.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're ready.
All right, for the jury?
All right, everyone, please be seated. State it's still your case in chief.
Yes, Judge. Prior to calling a witness, they would just offer State's Exhibit 7 with the group on redactions in the evidence.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, state's exhibit number 7 is admitted without objection. State, call your next witness.
The state calls Officer Nicholas Guerrero to the stand.
Yes. All right, if you'll raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so members of the jurors and the court reporter can hear. If you'll state your name for the record.
Nicholas Guerrero.
State.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Officer Guerrero. How are you?
Morning, good.
Can you tell us how you are currently employed?
I am a corporal with the Universal City Police Department,
And how long have you worked for the Universal City Police Department?
about 4.5 years.
And where did you work prior?
I was a deputy sheriff with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office,
And how long were you a deputy sheriff for?
10 years.
And can you talk about some of your roles and responsibilities as an officer with Universal City Police Department?
One of my roles is conducting crime prevention there within our city, enforcing traffic laws, along with criminal laws as well.
Can you talk about just the training it takes to become a law enforcement officer?
So I did approximately 14 months with SAC, San Antonio Alamo Colleges, to obtain my peace officer license. After that, continuous yearly training just to make sure that I'm current with the state and law.
I'd like to fast forward a little bit. Do you remember if you were working on around September 19th of 2022?
Yes, sir.
And at any point were you called to have a call for service?
Yes, sir.
And what did that call for service entail?
It was a lobby call. It was individual coming in to report an issue or a crime that occurred in our city.
What was the crime that they wanted to report?
So it was a sexual assault of a child.
And once you speak to that person who wanted to make the report.
Yes, sir.
And do you remember that person's name?
Not off the top of my head.
Would seeing a copy of your report help refresh your recollection?
Yes, sir.
For the purposes of refreshing the officer's recollection. Officer Guerrero, you can talk about it, but please don't read off report.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So do you remember the name of the person that you spoke to at the station?
Yes, sir.
And what was her name?
Alexandra Reed.
And who was she calling to make this report about?
Can you repeat that?
Who was she calling to, who was she looking to make this report about?
About her ex,
And do you know what his name is?
Jordan Robbins.
And with that, were you able to get an understanding of where this offense allegedly took place?
Yes, sir. It occurred in our city.
And do you know where in the city, like an address or something?
It's gonna be off of Walnut Springs in a subdivision.
And is that in?
Yes, sir, it is.
And when you saw Miss Reed, who was she? So who was she saying that this occurred to? Like this occurred to?
Her daughter.
And do you recall what her daughter's name?
Forgive me, I'm
How was Miss Reed's demeanor during this?
shook,
Can you explain a little bit more about that?
upset, talking, visibly shaking, emotional, I should say.
And did she go into the station with anyone else?
Say that again, sir?
Did she go into the station to make this report alone, or was she with someone?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was just her.
It was just her.
Mhm.
And besides, you did take a report from your encounter with Miss Reed.
Yes, sir.
Besides that, did you have any other role in this case?
No, sir.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Officer Guerrero.
Morning, sir.
Can you tell me, did you review any documents or anything before you testified today?
Briefly.
Okay. And do you still have the?
Yes, sir, it's right
report there? Can you just help us and tell us the date? When did Miss Reed come to the University Police Department to file this report?
This one was going to be 9/19/22, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you double check? Is that?
Yes, sir. I'll double check. September 19th, 2022.
Okay. And so this was in September. It's on September 21st, 2022. Were you aware that she had already filed a police report with shirts?
Yes, sir.
In February?
She notified me. During our initial conversation, when she was telling me, she did say that she was talking to Shirts. She filed a police report with Shirts. Shirts informed her to make another police report with our department.
So about 5 months before she had, give or take, I did 7 months. 7 months, I'm sorry, my math. Approximately 7 months before she had filed a police report with Shirts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said that she was visibly upset?
From what it looked like, yes, sir.
She said she was shook. You didn't do any follow-up on this investigation. Why not?
So with this, it got passed to our CID,
What does that mean?
Criminal Investigations Division.
And what did they do with the case?
So they're the ones that followed up with the case. After that, I took the initial report. It got forwarded to CID.
And can you tell from the offense report if anything else was done on the case? There's no supplements or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of, sir. That's something that would have to, I guess, come up with CID at our department.
Okay. As far as you know, nothing else was done.
Not that I'm aware, no, sir.
Okay. I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
Say,
Briefly, Judge, Officer Guerrero, you mentioned that, Schertz informed Miss Reed to come to your police department, correct?
Yes, sir.
And she did just that, correct?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Very briefly. Did you talk to any of the police that were with shirts?
No, sir.
Are you familiar with the detective there named Hillary Murphy?
No, sir.
Never heard anything about her?
No, sir.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge.
all right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Witness, excuse from the state.
Excuse me, defense, Your Honor.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may step down. All right, could I have parties approach? For about 2 minutes, okay? Remember my previous instructions. Everyone, please rise for the jury. All right, state, call your next witness.
Do you know, what is your date of birth?
June 25th, 2014.
Okay. And you said you're 10 years old?
Yes.
Okay. What do you like to do for fun?
I like to do soccer, ballet. I like to play with my brother and sister.
Okay. Play soccer, with your friends?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned ballet.
Yes.
How long have you been doing ballet for?
I don't know.
What about, you said you have a brother and a sister?
Yes.
Okay, what are their names?
Adelie and Asher.
And how old are they?
They are 3 and 5.
Okay. Arabella, where do you, who do you live with?
My mom,
And do you know your mom's name?
Alexandra.
Okay. And who else do you live with?
My stepdad,
And what's your stepdad's name?
Jason Kyrie.
So do you all live together?
Yes.
Okay. What grade are you in?
5th grade.
Do you go to school?
No.
So, are you homeschooled?
Yes.
What's your favorite subject?
Science.
Arabella, do you know, someone named, Jordan Robbins?
Yes.
Who is he?
My biological father.
And do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you describe him describing an article of clothing?
He's wearing a black jacket and a blue shirt.
Let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant. Do you remember when was the last time, your mom and dad were together?
No, sir.
Okay. How do you know if they were married at any point?
Yes, sir.
And now they're no longer married, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you, when they separated, or, did you get to see your dad?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember at the time how often you would get to see him?
One weekend I would spend with my mom, and the other weekend I would spend with my dad.
Okay. So when they separated, did you end up staying with your mom, living with your mom?
Yes, sir.
And then every other weekend you would go see your dad?
Yes, sir.
How many days out of the weekend did you see your dad?
Saturday and Sunday, so 2.
Okay. And was it always on Saturday and Sunday, or were there sometimes days throughout the week where you would see him?
Sometimes Friday.
And whenever your mom and dad separated, where was your dad living?
Do I say the neighborhood's name?
You can.
Willow Grove.
Okay. Was that the house where you used to live when you all were together?
No, sir.
Okay. So how many houses has your dad been living that you remember?
2.
Okay. And how do you distinguish those two houses?
The old house and the new house.
And with the, what do you remember more, the old house or the new house?
The new house?
Do you remember how old you were when he got a new house?
No, sir.
Whenever you were with your dad, or what kind of things would you do? What kind of places would he take you?
He took me to restaurants and my grandma and grandpa's house.
And your grandma and your grandpa's house, where is that?
It's by a lake.
Okay, is that, do you call that house the lake house?
Yes.
Okay. And how often would you go to the lake house?
Um, like maybe 2 weeks, and then we would go after 2 weeks. Maybe we would go there, and then another week we would go there.
So then you would spend more than a weekend when you would go to the lake house?
Just the weekend.
Oh,
No,
just the weekend.
so,
Okay. And who else would go to the lake?
my dad.
Okay. Who else? And your grandparents too, because it's their house? Okay. Was there any other family members that would go?
My cousins.
Okay. And how old are your cousins?
The last time I remember, I think it was 8, 6, and 12, I think.
Okay. And what kind of activities would you all do at the lake house?
We would swim in the lake.
After, what other activities would you do with your dad aside from going into the lake house?
We would, besides going to the lake house,
Mhm.
we would go to restaurants and we would stay at his house and
Whenever you would go to restaurants, who would go to the restaurant? Was it you and your dad or someone else?
usually me and my dad, but other times his girlfriend.
What's his girlfriend's name?
Miss Josie.
Miss Josie? Okay. So sometimes when you go to restaurants, it would just be you and your dad, and other times it would be you and Miss Josie.
Let me see.
Okay. Do you remember when your dad started, when Miss Josie became your dad's girlfriend?
No, sir.
Do you remember the first time that you met Miss Josie?
No, sir.
So you mentioned that you remember more about the new house.
Yes, sir.
Can you describe the new house?
It had a brown roof and it was white and it had rocks like by the house and bushes.
What about the inside of the house? What was the layout like?
When you come in, there's an office, and then if you keep going, there's a what's it called? The kitchen, and then if you keep going, they have the living room, my dad's room, and my room, a bathroom, and the playroom.
How many bedrooms did the house have? What does the house have?
3.
How many bathrooms?
2.
And are the bathrooms inside the bedrooms?
My bathroom was outside my bedroom, but my dad's bathroom was in his bedroom.
Okay. And whenever you would stay over with your dad over the weekend in the new house, Were there other people living in that new house?
No, sir.
So it was just your dad?
Yes.
Would there be any other people that would come and visit?
His girlfriend.
So his girlfriend, did not live there.
No, sir.
Do you know how often she would come and visit?
Some weekends and some not weekends.
Does, whenever she would come and visit, would she come alone?
She would usually bring her son,
So what's his son's name?
OJ.
LJ?
Yes, sir.
And how old is LJ?
I, the only thing I remember is he was 12.
So was he was older than you?
Yes, sir.
So whenever his girlfriend would stay over the weekend, well, I guess that's my next question, so would she stay over when she would come and visit?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And what were the sleeping arrangements like?
I would sometimes sleep in the living room. And sometimes I slept with them.
With them in your dad's bedroom?
Yes, sir.
And where would LJ sleep?
He would sleep in the living room.
You said that the house had two bathrooms. One bathroom was your bathroom because it was next to your room, but it wasn't inside the room, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which bathroom would you use to take a shower?
His bathroom.
Is there a reason why you would use his bathroom and not your bathroom?
I just use that bathroom.
So it's always been that way since when you were young.
Yes, sir.
Whenever his girlfriend was not in there for the weekend, what was this? Where would you sleep?
I would sleep in my dad's bed.
Okay. So there's three bedrooms. One room is his room. The other two, what rooms were they? What were they like?
Um, Can you say it again, please?
Yeah, so the house you said has three bedrooms, right? One of them is his bedroom, which is small with the bathroom. And then the other two bedrooms, were they occupied?
It was my bathroom and the playroom.
So your bedroom and the playroom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did your bedroom have furniture?
Yes, sir.
What kind of furniture did your bedroom have?
A bed, a dresser.
And how would you ever sleep in your bedroom?
No, sir.
So every time then you would sleep with your dad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about your dad's room? What kind of furniture did your dad's room have?
He had a dresser, a TV, a bed, and a nightstand.
The bed, was it what kind of bed was it?
I think it's a king size.
So it's a pretty big bed.
Yes, sir.
So whenever his girlfriend would stay over and sleep, you three would sleep in the king size bed?
Sometimes, yes, sir.
Okay. So the only time when you would not sleep with your dad was when his girlfriend was there sometimes. And when you would not sleep with your dad, you would sleep in your bedroom, or where would you sleep?
In the living room.
In the living room. So, Arvilla, I wanna talk about, what, did your dad ever do anything to you that made you feel uncomfortable?
Yes, sir.
I wanna talk about the first time that you remember that he did something that was uncomfortable, okay?
Yes, sir.
Where were you?
In the bed.
In the bed of which house?
The old house.
And that bed, was it also a big king size bed?
Yes, sir.
And what was going on? What happened? Was it daytime or was it nighttime?
Nighttime.
What happened that night?
I code his private part.
So, you said felt his private part, so what do you mean by feeling? What did you feel?
Like, how did it feel?
How did it feel?
Uncomfortable, hard, and yeah.
Did it hurt you?
Yes, sir.
A little bit or a lot?
A lot.
You mentioned private part. What do you mean by private part?
Do I say the specific word?
Yes.
His penis?
And where did you feel his penis hurting you?
In my private part?
And what do you mean by your private part?
I don't know what it's called.
What do you use that private part for?
Peeing?
Have you always called his part a penis?
No, sir.
What other words have you used to describe it?
Triangle and private part.
You mentioned that you don't know the name of your private part, but it's the part that you used to go pee. What other words do you use to describe that part?
My circle and private part.
When he was touching you, do you know if he was awake or asleep?
Fake sleeping. So I think awake. Say awake.
Okay.
He had his eyes closed, so.
So if he had his eyes closed, how do you know he was fake sleeping?
Because he was holding me.
When he was holding you, where, so his arms were holding you, where were his arms holding you?
Like this. Like around my stomach.
And when he was holding you, was there any movement?
He would just squeeze.
How many times was he squeezing?
He just held it. Like, just like that.
How long was he squeezing you for? Do you know?
No, sir.
Did you feel anything uncomfortable anywhere else in your body?
My back part sometimes.
What do you mean by your back part?
My spot where I go poop.
Do you know what that is called?
Yes.
What is it called?
I bet.
Do you know if, so normally when you go to sleep, what kind of clothes do you wear?
My pajamas.
Okay, and what kind of pajamas do you
I had a lot of different kinds.
wear? Okay, so can it be pants?
Yes.
Can it be shorts?
Yes, sir.
What about dresses?
Yes, sir.
What about your dad? What kind of pajamas would he wear?
Sometimes he would wear a shirt and a t-shirt, and sometimes he would have his shirt off and only his shorts.
This time that you're describing, do you remember how old you were?
I think I was 5.
And I know that you wear all kinds of pajamas, but do you remember what you were wearing when this happened at age 5?
No, sir.
And do you remember if he was just wearing shorts that night?
No, sir.
Whenever you felt his private part hurting you, do you remember if his private part was over his shorts or under his shorts?
Like if he would take his shorts off
Mhm.
over his shorts.
At any point, do you remember if his shorts or his clothes came off?
No, sir.
At any point, do you know if his private part made contact with your private part directly?
Yes, sir.
So when this happened, did you stay on the bed?
Yes, sir.
How long did you stay on the bed for?
I don't know how long.
Did you at any point you got to use the bathroom?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember how long it took for you to go and use the bathroom from when it happened?
2 minutes, probably.
2 minutes from when it happened?
Oh my, how? Did you ask how many minutes I stayed in the bathroom?
No.
Oh,
How long did it take for you to go to the bathroom when he did this to you? Was it right away, or did it take to go back to sleep and you woke up?
It took a little while
And did you stay awake the entire time?
until he let go.
And once you let go, then what did you do?
I either, if I needed to go to the bathroom, I would go to the bathroom or I would go to sleep.
So on this particular day, did you go to the bathroom?
Yes, sir.
When you went to the bathroom, what happened?
bathroom and I went and did my business. And I found blood in my underwear.
Was it a lot of blood or little blood?
Little blood.
Where in your underwear was the blood?
In the middle.
Was it just in the underwear? Or was it on you as well?
Just on the underwear.
So what did you do next?
I got a new pair of underwear. I threw away the old ones and went back to bed.
And back to bed with your dad?
Yes, sir.
Was that the first time that you remember that anything uncomfortable happened with your dad?
You need to say it again, please.
Was this the first time that you remember of anything uncomfortable happening with your dad?
One more time, please, so I can.
Was this the first time that you remember that this happened?
Yes, sir.
Did this happen just one time or multiple times in the old house?
With the blood or the.
Well, let's start with the blood.
No, sir.
Was this only one time?
Yes, sir.
And what about him grabbing you? Was that only one time in the old house or multiple times?
I don't remember.
So let's talk about when you were in the new house.
Yes, sir.
What do you remember? I guess let's just start in the bedroom. When you are asleep with him or when you're on bed with him, what do you remember him doing that makes you feel uncomfortable?
I would feel his penis in my private part, and he would just keep squeezing me.
And when he was squeezing you, was he squeezing you just very tight or was he moving you?
He was staying still. He was just holding me and staying still.
Did he do anything different on the bed other than holding you and hurting you with his private area?
Objection, Your Honor. That's a leading question and it's a mischaracterization of a previous testimony.
So that question, you cannot answer. The state is going to ask you another question, all right?
Yes, sir.
When you felt his private area, how did that make you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Did it cause you any pain?
Yes, sir.
So it hurt.
Yes, sir.
Did he do anything else that hurt you when he was on the bed?
No, sir.
Did your dad make anything else to you? Your dad do anything else to you that was uncomfortable?
Yes, sir.
What else would he do?
He would, in the shower, he would grab my washcloth and he scratched and tickled me in my private area.
Okay, so let's talk about the shower. Do you know how to bathe yourself?
Yes, sir.
At the time, do you remember how old you were when you moved into this new house?
No, sir.
At the time when you were staying with your dad in the new house, did you know how to bathe yourself?
Please say it again.
So when you would stay with your dad at his new house, did you know how to bathe yourself?
Yes, sir.
And you said that you shower in his bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said he would grab the washcloth, so is your dad present when you shower?
Sorry. What?
Is your dad with you when you shower?
Yes, sir.
Is he there the entire time or just sometime?
Just sometimes.
Some of the time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is your dad there at the beginning of the shower or towards the end of the shower?
At the end.
At the end. How would you describe his shower or his bathroom?
It had a sink
Okay.
and it had the shower. And then it had the bathroom. Then it had the closet.
And was it a bathtub or was it a shower?
A shower.
When your dad would walk in towards the end of your shower, what do you use to scrub yourself? You said you use a washcloth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when your dad would walk in, would he say anything?
No, sir.
So would he just take the washcloth from you?
Yes, sir.
And what would he do?
He would put the washcloth and like hurt me in my private area.
And the private area would be the same part that you described earlier?
Yes, sir.
How does that make you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Okay. Did it cause you any pain?
Yes, sir.
How did he touch you with the washcloth?
Scratch. And sometimes it would be like playing the piano and tickling a hurtful tickle.
So I see that you are using your hand. Can you lift your hand a little bit and demonstrate exactly what he would do?
Like, may I have a break?
Yes.
So let's just recap so far a little bit of what we have. In the old house, we talked about the first time that you remember being on the bed.
The bed?
So you remember what we talked about earlier, right, about the bed? Okay, we were talking about the pajamas, you wear all kinds of pajamas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he wears shorts, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know if there are any openings in the shorts?
No, sir.
No, okay. So you saw, when you went to the restroom, you saw there was blood in your underwear?
Yes, sir.
Was that the first time that you've seen blood in your underwear?
Yes, sir.
So you've never bled from there before?
Yes, sir.
Why did you throw away the underwear?
I didn't want bloody underwear.
So then we talked about the new house and the shower, okay? And we're talking about the washcloth, and how we use the washcloth. Okay? And you demonstrated to the jurors the motion that he would use with the washcloth. How long would he make that movement?
With the washcloth?
Yes.
2 or 3 minutes.
And he made contact with your private area, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever he would use the washcloth in your private area, was there anywhere else that he would wash?
No, sir.
So he never washed your hair, right?
No, sir.
What about your arms,
No, sir.
your legs?
No, sir.
It was just your private area.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many times would you do this?
Every shower.
So when you would stay over the weekend, would you shower every day?
Yes, sir.
So when you would go, so at least 2 or 3 times a week? Or 2 or 3 times when you were there? If you stayed on Friday, Saturday, you would shower 2 times?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And on Sunday, would you shower as well, or would you shower at your mom's?
I would shower at my mom's.
Okay. Whenever you shower at your mom's, would your mom help you with the shower?
No, sir.
What about your stepdad?
No, sir.
So aside from the shower, or actually. So aside from the shower, were there any other times when he would make you feel uncomfortable?
Um, the couch.
Okay. And where was the couch at?
In the living room.
Okay. Can you describe the couch?
It's like a chair, but it was a couch. It was like, yeah, it wasn't like one of these chairs. It was like more of a couch chair.
So did the couch have room for one person or for several people?
He had 3 couches. And 2 little couches and 1 big couch.
2 little couches and 1 big couch?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where would this happen? In the 2 little couches or the big couch?
2 little couches.
And when would this happen? During the day, during the night?
During the day,
So what would happen?
he would ask me to sit on his lap. I would sit on his lap and he would squeeze me and rock me and I would feel his fur.
So he would ask you to sit on his lap. How would he ask you to sit on his lap?
He would like say, come.
And when you would go, would he grab you or would you sit in his lap on your own?
I would sit on his lap
Okay, and then his arms, where were his arms?
around me.
Okay, and when he was squeezing you, how long was he squeezing you for?
2 to 3 minutes.
And what can you feel?
His private part.
Okay, how would you describe his private part?
So I say the name.
Well, I think we know exactly what it is, but how would you describe it? Was it hard? Was it
Oh, it was uncomfortable, hard.
uncomfortable? Okay. And by uncomfortable, do you mean that it was uncomfortable but no pain or uncomfortable but with pain?
Uncomfortable.
With a bit of pain?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would he tell you anything when he was squeezing you?
No, sir.
And was he moving when he was squeezing you?
Yes, sir.
How was he moving?
He would like rock me.
Rock you?
Yes, sir.
And which part of his body was rocking?
Like his whole body.
His whole body rocking, okay. So was he moving forward and backwards?
Yes, sir.
And how long was he moving forward and backwards?
2 to 3 minutes.
So he did it multiple times?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell him anything?
I try to say stop, but he kept on.
When you say that you tried to say stop, did you actually say stop or did you want to say stop?
I wanted to say stop.
Did you freeze?
Freeze.
Well, so you said that you wanted to say stop, but why was it that you didn't, why was it that you didn't say stop?
I was scared he was gonna hurt me more.
So after those 2 to 3 minutes, what would happen next?
He would let me go, and I would go to my room or my playroom, and he would either go in his room or sit in the living room and watch TV.
Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you get closer to the microphone so we can hear? I know it's hard to listen to. So can you repeat your answer on that one? What would happen when he would let you go?
I would either go to my room or in my playroom, and he would either go to his room or stay in the living room and watch TV.
So when he would grab you, so how were his shorts on or off?
On,
And were your clothes on or off?
on.
And can you describe his shorts when he was grabbing you?
His shorts?
Yes.
Like what? Like,
Well, did they remain the same after he let you go?
yes, sir. Well, no, sir.
No?
No, sir.
And what was different about him?
One time, I felt his shorts being wet.
Excuse me, just a moment. Who has the coughing issue? All right, if you all just step outside and if you need a mint or something, you can get a mint from outside. All right, State, you may continue.
Tell me a little bit more of what you mean by shorts being wet.
His, I felt his shorts being wet.
Did you feel his shorts being wet when you sat down on his lap or after he let you go?
After,
And how did you see that they were wet or did you feel that they were wet?
feel that they were wet.
Did your clothes get wet?
Yes, sir.
Was it a lot wet or very little bit wet?
Medium.
So when you would go back into your room or anywhere else in the house, would you ever change?
I would go to the bathroom and try to dry it
How?
with toilet paper.
And how many times did he do this that you remember?
2.
Was it 2 times when you felt that his shorts were wet? Or was it 2 times overall sitting on your
His
ass?
shorts were wet.
So there's more times when his shorts were not wet.
Yes, sir.
But I want to talk about the weekend or the days right around when you told your mom, right? Because when this was going on, did you tell anybody?
No, sir.
So you didn't tell anybody right away.
No, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us why you felt not to tell right away?
I was scared if he was gonna hurt me more. My mom was gonna tell him and he was gonna hurt me more.
So you were afraid of how he was gonna react?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about the day that you did tell your mom, okay?
Yes, sir.
I think that weekend you were coming out from your dad's. Well, let me reverse the question. What was going on? What led to you telling your mom?
I got sick and I thought it was time to tell. I was scared, but I told her that night.
Okay, so you said that you got sick. Do you remember what you were doing with your dad right before?
We went to a hotel.
Okay, do you remember when it happened?
When?
When you went to the hotel and when you told your mom?
February?
Do you remember what year?
No, sir.
Okay. So it was in February. What was going on with your dad? What were you doing with your dad?
We were at a hotel with his girlfriend. And there was a pool. And we went to the pool and he made me go into the pool. He didn't want to go to the pool because it was really cold.
Was the pool inside or outside the hotel?
It was half inside and half outside.
Okay. And who else was there? So you mentioned that his girlfriend was there. Who else was there at the hotel?
His son. Her son, I mean.
Okay. Was this the 12-year-old son?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did everybody get into the pool?
Only me and the son.
And you said that you didn't want to get into the pool.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why did you get into it?
Because I was afraid if I didn't go into the pool, he would hurt me.
So you got into the pool and then later, was it later that day where you went with your mom?
Yes, sir.
So how did you feel later that day?
I had a stuffy nose and I was coughing.
Okay. And did that upset you?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what you told your mom that night when you got to her house?
The only thing I remembered is I told her what happened and that he hurt me, and that's all I remembered.
So you don't remember what kind of details you told her?
No, sir.
Do you remember if you told your mom about what was happening one time or multiple times?
Please say it again.
So, do you remember if you told your mom about what happened? Are you referring to what happened at the hotel, or are you referring about what happened with your dad in the past?
Both.
So, when you told your mom about what's been going on with your dad in the past, okay, making you uncomfortable, did you tell your mom just one time?
The other night I explained more.
Do you remember what more meant?
More of him hurting.
And then, do you remember if you had spoken with anyone else?
No, sir. I told my mom told my stepdad, and then she told the
The police. Okay. Did you ever talk to the police?
no, sir.
Did you ever talk to anyone else or forensic? Do you know what a forensic interviewer is?
No.
Do you remember? Do you know what child safe is?
Yes.
Do you remember talking to somebody at child safe?
Yes, sir.
What about going to the Center for Miracles hospital? Do you remember going to a hospital?
Yes, sir.
What about in September? Do you remember what was going on in September?
No, sir.
Do you remember telling your mom anything else?
No, sir.
Do you remember, or did you ever see anybody? Well, so when you told your mom, right? How did that make you feel?
Scared.
Do you remember meeting with a counselor?
Say.
Do you remember meeting with a counselor? Do you know who your counselor is?
Yes, sir.
Who is that?
Miss Kelly.
Miss Kelly, do you know her last name?
No, sir.
So you call her Miss Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many times have you seen Miss Kelly?
One. Well, I used to do it every Monday, but now I do it once a month.
But you've seen her multiple times.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you talked about all of this with her?
Yes, sir.
Has that helped you?
Yes, sir.
Whenever you would meet with Miss Kelly, who's in the room?
Just me and Miss Kelly.
Whenever you went to talk to Child Safe, who was in the room then?
Just me and this other lady.
At this time, there's a safe passes on.
All right, defense, do you have questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Thanks, Judge. Good morning, Arabella.
Good morning.
My name's John Floyd. I'm gonna need to ask you some questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
If you don't understand anything I'm asking, just let me know, okay? I want to make sure you understand everything I'm asking, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to kind of start off where Mr. Saldana just kind of left off about the people you've talked to about what you testified to today, okay?
Yes, sir.
When you were getting ready for trial, do you remember meeting Mr. Saldana
Yes, sir.
and the other lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you talked about what your testimony was going to be?
Yes, sir.
Did you practice what you were going to do today?
No, sir.
Did you talk to your mom about what your testimony was going to be?
No, sir.
You hadn't talked to her at all about it?
Like how I'm gonna go up here?
Yeah, have you talked about what happened to you, what you're saying happened to you? Have you talked to your mom about that?
Like how he hurt me?
Yeah, I'm asking, when you're getting ready to come to court today, did you talk to your mom about what you're gonna say? Did you go over what you're gonna say with her?
No, sir.
Okay. How about anyone else? Have you talked to anyone else about what you're gonna say?
No, sir.
Okay. Going back to the, I guess you did talk, when you first told your mom about what happened. You said that was February.
Yes, sir.
It was about 2.5 years ago. It's been a while, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you told your mom what happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she was upset. She was angry.
No, sir.
She was not upset?
Oh, she was upset at my dad, not at me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So she was upset and angry about your dad.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And during that time, you talked to her again the next day about what happened?
Yes, sir.
And she asked you questions about what happened, right?
Yes, sir.
And during that time, you would have talked to your mom a lot about what happened. You had many discussions about what happened.
Yes, sir.
And she asked you a lot of questions about what happened, right?
Yes.
And then you remember going in to do a forensic interview. We talked about earlier, that's when you met with the lady in the room by yourself.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember and you had a chance to watch that also before you testified today?
The video?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And you just looked at it a couple of days ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you were able to go through what you told the forensic interview 2.5 years ago or so, right?
Please say it again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. That's probably my fault. Okay. You were able to look at the video that you made with the forensic interviewer after this first came out, right?
Yes, sir.
And that helped you remember some of the details, I guess, for your testimony today.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you remember going to the hospital and getting checked, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your mom took you to that visit, right?
Yes, sir.
Before you went to the forensic interview, I'm gonna back up, I'm sorry. Before you went to go do the video, you remember, who took you to the forensic interview? Do you remember who drove you there?
To child safe?
That would be, yes, the child safe.
Yes, sir.
How did you get there?
By my mom's car.
Okay, and who else was with you?
My stepdad.
Okay, and your mom was with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you talked about what you were gonna say when you went into the forensic interview, right?
Talk to my mom about it.
Yeah, do you remember telling anyone that you had talked about what you were gonna say before you went into the forensic interview?
Like asking questions.
No, but just did you talk to your mom about what you were gonna say when you went in for the forensic interview?
I don't remember.
Okay. But it's fair, you were talking to her a lot back then about what was going on, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We talked about Kelly. Does Bernstein sound like her last name? Miss Kelly?
I never heard her last name.
So you went to meet with her and you would play?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you talked to her also
Yes,
about what
sir.
had happened? So you've had an opportunity then to talk to a lot of people to get ready for what you had to say today, right?
Talk to a lot of people.
Yeah, to get ready, just so you're comfortable today, you had to talk to a lot of people to get ready, right?
To tell them what happened.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Because a lot of it you didn't remember, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can you say that question again?
You needed some help to help you remember what had happened, because it's been a long time, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in fact, you didn't remember the events from the old house, right?
No, sir, not much.
Okay. And so you needed some help to remember those, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I want to do now, Arabelle, is just go back a little bit, okay? I want to talk about kind of what you do remember, what you don't remember, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think you told Mr. Saldana earlier today that you don't, it doesn't sound like you remember much of the old house at all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember how old you were when you were there?
What?
Do you remember how old you were at the old house?
I think I was 5.
You were 5. And do you remember during that time was Miss Josephina, who you call her Miss Josie?
Yes, sir.
Was she coming to the house at that time?
At the old house?
Yes.
My dad didn't have her as a girlfriend that time.
Okay. Do you remember anyone else coming to the house when he was living there?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember if his, do you know who his parents are?
Yes, sir.
Your grandparents, right? What are their names?
I called them Mimi and Papa.
Mimi?
Mimi and Papa.
Mimi and Papa. Do you remember them living at that house when you would go to visit?
At the old house or the lake house?
At the old house.
No, sir.
You don't remember them living there at all when you were going to visit?
No, sir.
Okay. So I want to ask you then about I'm sorry, do you remember your bedroom in the old house?
No, sir.
Do you remember if you had a bedroom in the old house?
I don't remember.
Um, do you remember if you were, do you remember if you were scared to sleep alone at that time?
Please say it again, I'm sorry.
Do you remember if you were scared to sleep alone at the old house?
No, sir.
You don't remember?
No, sir, I don't
Okay.
remember.
So you don't, um, and I know you're only 5, so that's okay, all right? But you don't remember really anything from the old house?
No, sir.
Okay. Um, so earlier today, you were talking about something that happened at the old house, right?
Yes, sir.
And you remember that because you saw the video that you made earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because otherwise you wouldn't remember it at all?
I remembered it.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about that, okay? And if you need a break, you just tell me and we'll take a
Can
break.
I have a little break?
Sure.
All right, everyone, we Defense, you may proceed.
Okay, everyone, is that better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you need another one, you tell me, okay?
Yes, sir.
So, we were talking about, kind of what you remember and what you don't remember. And you said earlier, you don't remember really anything from the old house, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember a time, well, let me ask you this way. Tell me what it was like when you were over at your dad's house. Did you have a good time? Um, did you do things together? Did you watch movies together?
Yes, sir.
Did you play video games together?
We had a cousin who had a Nintendo.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, we would play on that sometimes.
Do you remember, I guess, going out and doing things together, like playing in the park?
Yes, sir.
You'd go to, I know you went to those jumpy places, right? Where you jump on a trampoline.
Yes, sir.
You went to, well, to plays together. You like to do that, right?
Sorry, say it again, please.
About the plays, to watch plays.
Yes, sir.
Um, so you had good times together,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
And you loved your dad, right? It's okay. You can take a minute. I asked you that you loved your dad, didn't you?
Yes and no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. And you knew your dad loved you, right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I have just a moment?
Yes.
So, Arabella, was there ever a time that your dad did not give you enough to eat?
No, sir.
He always fed you?
Yes, sir.
He always took good care of you, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there ever a time that he beat you?
Beat me?
Yes.
Like,
Did he ever hit you with his fist?
no, sir.
Okay. Did he ever choke you?
No, sir.
Um, so do you ever remember a time, it would have been about the time you moved into the new house? Do you know what CPS is now?
CPS?
Yes. Do you know what that is?
Is that the police officer?
It would have been someone who came out to talk to you to see if you were doing okay in the house. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
Okay. So you don't remember a time when there was an investigation because you were not being fed or not being taken care of. You don't remember that?
No, sir.
Okay. I want to ask you a little bit about, it sounds like the one thing that you're, and I just want to ask you, when we're asking you questions about the incident at the old house, okay? Um, these are memories that you've needed help to remember, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember, do you remember what the bedroom looked like at the old house?
No, sir.
Do you remember what the bathroom looked like?
No, sir.
So there was testimony earlier about when you said that he hurt you at the old house, okay? And you said, after going through a lot of questions, I'm just gonna use the adult words, okay? You said that he put his penis in you. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to talk about that memory. So when you would stay the night at the old house, do you remember being dressed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you would always sleep in pajamas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your dad, he would always sleep in shorts, or he would also sleep in pajamas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You never saw him naked?
No, sir.
You never saw his penis?
Yes, sir.
You never saw it, that's right?
Yes.
Okay. And you never saw, you said, and I'm sorry I have to ask you these in public, but we have to, okay? You never saw his hard penis?
His heart?
Yeah, you said that his penis felt hard. Did you ever see that?
No, sir.
Okay. You said earlier that you said earlier that after that that happened, that I guess your dad's clothes were still on, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said he never took off your clothes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you had your clothes on and he had his clothes on.
Yes, sir.
And do you remember him, did he touch you with his hands in your private areas?
No, sir.
Okay. And did he say anything to you?
No, sir.
In fact, earlier you said that he was play sleeping. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said he wasn't moving, right? He didn't move?
Could you please say it again?
Well, I'm talking about when you're saying that he put his penis inside of you, he didn't move?
No, sir.
Okay. He also said that that there was, well, you said that there was blood in your underwear, right?
Yes, sir.
But you don't remember that now, do you?
I did remember that.
You remembered it after you looked at your statement from before?
Yes, sir.
But you have a hard time remembering any of the details back then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember what the bathroom looked like?
Bathroom?
Yeah,
And the old house?
yes.
No, sir.
But you remember that there was blood in your underwear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, how do you remember that?
The blood in my underwear?
Mhm.
The video, and I remember.
Okay. And it's good. Just tell us the truth, okay?
Sir.
And you said that you threw your underwears away and changed underwear?
Sorry, say it again, please.
I think you said earlier that you took off the underwear that had blood in them and threw them away.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that you put on new underwear and then went back to bed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, the only way you remember any of that is from something that you've seen, a video that you saw.
I remember it also because I try to remember a lot
Okay.
for today.
No, and that's good. Do you remember times when you would go to the lake house with the grandparents?
Yes, sir.
You went there a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
And you had good times there with the family?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know that you like to swim there, right? There's a lake there.
Yes, sir.
And there was a big house there, right?
Yes, sir.
Who would be there when you would go there?
My grandparents and my cousins.
So there'd be a big group that would
Yes,
be
sir.
there. Your aunts and your uncles?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would the LJ ever come and Josephina?
Yes, sir.
When you swam in the lake, you used to like to swim in the lake, right?
Yes, sir.
And you always wore a life vest when you swam when you were there, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, that was the rule there.
Yes, sir.
And you would do that when you went out on the boat as well. You always had to wear a life vest.
Yes, sir.
There was a swimming pool there.
No, sir.
Did you have a good time when you went to the lake house?
Yes, sir.
And you had plenty to eat while you were there?
Yes, sir.
They took good care of you?
Yes, sir.
Do you ever remember a time going on a ride with your grandpa? I guess you call him Papa,
Yes, sir.
where he took you to the store to get candy
Yes, sir.
in the truck? Was that fun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you went with your cousins?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you kept going over there all the way up until the time when the story came out, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to move into the new house now, okay?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the new house. What do you remember about it?
Like explain how it looked. Or
Yeah, you talked about how it looked earlier. What about your bedroom?
bedroom,
Yes.
like how it looked.
Yeah.
I had a dresser, lamps on the dresser, a bed with my sheets and pillows and my closet. That's all I could remember.
So you had a nice bedroom there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you didn't like to sleep in the bedroom alone at night, right?
I don't remember. I'm sorry. Say it again, please.
That's okay. You didn't like to spend the night alone in your bedroom because you were scared, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you wanted to sleep in your dad's room, right?
No, sir.
Do you remember Miss Josephina being there sometimes when you spent the night?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember also wanting to sleep in the bed with them?
No, sir.
No? You didn't want to sleep in the bed with them?
No, sir.
Okay. But you did, right?
Yes, sir.
Did so she had a son, LJ. You remember LJ, right?
Yes, sir.
He was just a little bit older than you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did he sleep when they spent the night?
Where did he sleep?
Yeah, where did he sleep?
In the living room.
Okay. Did he always sleep in the living room?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you always slept in your dad's room?
No, sir. Sometimes I would sleep in the living room if Miss Josie was there.
Okay. There's times that you would sleep in the living room with LJ?
Yes, sir.
You would just kind of camp out in there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But there's also times that you would sleep in the bed with Miss Josie and your dad?
Yes, sir.
You talked earlier about, I guess when you first told this story, you talked about the words that you used back then.
Yes, sir.
Where did you learn those words about the triangle and the
You
circle?
made it up.
You made it up?
Yes, sir.
So do you remember the time, I guess, when COVID was going on? You remember that?
Yes, sir.
It was a big deal. Everyone was talking about it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember your mom being upset about your dad exposing you to COVID and getting you sick?
No, sir. I don't
You don't
remember.
remember? Do you remember staying over at the lake house for a couple weeks when you had COVID?
No, sir.
You remember staying with your dad when you had COVID and you couldn't go back home?
Please say it again. I'm sorry.
Do you remember staying with your dad when you had COVID and you couldn't go home?
I don't remember.
Um, so you talk about some incidents at the new house, right?
Yes, sir.
So the incidents at the new house, all they happen in the shower, is what you said earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
And on the couch.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was nothing like what happened in the bed from your previous story, right? You never put anything into you again at the new house. Like his penis, I'm sorry.
Please repeat the whole question.
I'm sorry, it's my fault. It's my fault. When you're at the new house, I know you talked about what happened in the shower, right? And what happened on the couch. But nothing else happened. It was just those incidences at the new house.
Also the bed.
Okay. And in the bed that was hugging from behind,
Hugging and feeling his penis.
that, I want to be clear about this. You're saying that you felt his penis.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He never had you touch his penis, right?
Yes, sir.
That's true. He never did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're saying that you could feel it through his clothes?
Yes, sir. May I please take a break? I need to go to the bathroom.
Judge?
Yes.